Hey everyone, Katrina here, and today I'm going to tell you how to sketch polynomial functions. Be sure to subscribe for more videos like this and watch to the end to see all the examples. Okay, so I'm going to give you a great 4-step process today so that you can learn how to easily sketch polynomials. You can follow this format every single time and it will help you get an idea of how polynomials should look and understand what their end behavior and intermediate behavior is. So step 1 is that you want to put your polynomial into factored form. Well, what is factored form? Factored form of the polynomial is as follows. You might have some polynomial p of x equals to a x minus x1 to the power of n times x minus x2 to the power of n, and so on. You can have x minus xk to the power of n. So in this case, you have k different roots, so k roots. So each of these x1, x2, xk, these each represent a root or an x-intercept of your polynomial. And then you also have the degree at the top of each one. So this is called the order or the multiplicity. Multiplicity. They both mean the same thing, except there's just different ways how you can say it. So I just wanted to show you both. So multiplicity. And then you also have your leading coefficient over here. And then you have the sign. So you have to determine whether your leading coefficient is positive or negative. So this is everything you have here in the factored form. And that kind of ties into the other points here. So you have to put into factored form. And then you want to make note of the degree. So the degree is whatever is the largest power of x. So that would be, if it's in standard form, you'd look for the largest power of x. In terms of factored form, you have to pretty much count how many occurrences of x do you have so that you can figure out its full degree. And then thirdly, you're going to look at the coefficient. So when you look at the coefficient, you want to look at both the value, but more importantly, you want to know the sign of the coefficient. So whether it is a positive or a negative leading coefficient. And lastly, you want to look at the order of the multiplicity of each of the roots, which I said this would be kind of like your n value here that I wrote, your exponent for each one of your factor terms. So for each root, you need to determine your order. And that will determine how the function crosses or interacts with your x-intercept. So we'll get to that as we get on to our graphing. But real quick, just so you have an idea, if n equals to 1, then it's going to go straight through the x-intercept, just like it would if you think of a linear function at the x-intercept here, it's going to go right through. If n equals to 2, it's going to follow the behavior of a quadratic function. So in this case, it's going to bounce off the x-intercept at the root, so it's called a double root. If n equals to 3, I think you can guess the pattern by now, it's going to follow the behavior of a cubic function. So at the x-intercept, it's going to kind of wiggle and have this like squiggly line as it crosses. So that's why it's important to understand the order and multiplicity of each root, because it tells us how the function behaves or interacts with the x-intercept at the root. Okay, so now that you have these few points that you can look at, we're going to go through and do some examples together so that you can get the idea. And just so you know, with this process that we have over here, this is not going to be a perfect graph of the polynomial. This again is a sketch, so it's going to give you kind of the curves where the x-intercepts are, but just using this technique, we're not going to figure out exactly how high or low our peaks are going to come. If you want to learn that, then watch my optimization and curve sketching videos, because that usually would require a little bit of calculus information. So this is a way how to get a general sketch without using any fancy calculus techniques, so just so you know. Okay, here's our first example. So we're just going to try to determine what is the degree and what is the leading coefficient. So without graphing, let's just get used to these things. So if we have y, or we can use f of x, equals to negative x plus 2 multiplied by x minus 1 squared. And you know what? Let's also determine what are our x-intercepts. So we're going to be asking these three questions. So part A, what is the degree over here? Well, here we have to count all the occurrences of x, or basically look at the largest power of x if it were to be in standard form. So here, since it's factored form, we see we have 1x here, and then we have another x here, but it's a double root. So that means that this counts as 2. So we have 1, 2, 3 versions of x, because we could also equivalently write this as x minus 1 times x minus 1. So we would count 1, 2, 3 occurrences of x, therefore the degree equals to 3. Okay, but we're just going to put it back into its proper factored form. And what about the leading coefficient? In this case, we see that we've got a negative here, so our leading coefficient is going to be -1. And now what about our x-intercepts? So to find your x-intercepts, you set y equals to 0 and then solve. So here we would set x plus 2 equals to 0. So that gives us an x-intercept at x equals to -2. And then we also have x minus 1 equals to 0, which gives us an x-intercept at 1. So, and if we want to extend this analysis and look at the multiplicity, we see that at x equals to 2, the multiplicity or order equals to 1, because we technically are n equals to 1 over here. And then for our second term, x minus 1 all squared, we see that our n equals to 2, so it has an order or multiplicity of 2 at the root of x equals to 1. So now you have a bit of an idea how to find the degree, the leading coefficient, the roots, as well as the orders. So you learn how to get all this information just from the factored form. Okay, so let's do an example with the sketching. So here, what if we were to have h of x equals to x multiplied by x plus 1 to the power of 3. So let's go through our analysis. So our degree here equals to 4, because we have x to the power of 1 and x to the power of 3, so you can add those exponents, which gives us 4. Our leading coefficient here is going to be +1. And then what else? We see that we have roots at x equals to 0. We're going to set this whole thing equals to 0. And we also have a root at x equals to -1. At x equals to 0, our order equals to 1. And at x equals to -1, here we see that our order equals to 3. And that determines what is the interaction or behavior at these roots. So going back to leading coefficient, I want all of you to go back and watch my video where I talk about the end behavior of polynomials, because this video shows you about how to interpret the leading coefficient and the degree of polynomials to determine its end behavior. So that one will give you some more clarification over there. So now let's go ahead and try to plot this, given that we have all this information that we just uncovered. So the first thing that you want to do when you plot is put your x-intercepts onto the xy plot, or the Cartesian plane. So we have x here and y here. So we see that we have a root at x equals to 0, and we also have a root at x equals to -1. So now that we have the roots on it, let's look at the degree and the leading coefficient. So we see that the leading coefficient is 1. And essentially what that means in terms of our end behavior is that we've got a positive function. And we also see from that, since our degree is 4, we also have an even degree polynomial. So even degree polynomials means you're going to start and end on the same side of the x-axis. And since we have a positive leading coefficient, that means that we are going to be above the x-axis. That means it's going to start and end above. We don't know what happens in between, but that is the end behavior that tells us it will begin and end above. And then since it's degree 4, it's even, so that it will both start and end on the same side of the x-axis. So that will give us a bit of information about the shape. Okay, so that means that it's starting above the x-axis, so we know it's starting over here, and then we also know that it's ending above the x-axis, so it has to end somewhere here. And it's on the positive side. So that's kind of what these two pieces of information tells us. Now we need to look at the order of each of the roots to determine the behavior at these intercepts. So at x equals to -1 over here, we see that we have order 3. And like I said before, that means it's going to interact like that cubic function and have that bit of that swirly, kind of squiggly behavior at the intercept. Okay, so let's try just sketching that out briefly. So we know it's starting here, and then at the intercept, it's going to kind of squiggle a little bit. So if we zoom in, it's going to look something like this. But we know it's crossing the axis. And at x equals to 0, we have order 1, and that means it's going to go straight through at the point of the intersection. So we can kind of connect the dots here, and then it will come up. So just like I said before, doing this method, we get an understanding of the shape and end behavior. However, we don't have a full analysis of the local behavior. What I mean by that is we don't know, just based off this information, how far down it goes. So this would be the minimum. So in order to find the minimum, there's different calculus methods that you can apply to determine like when the first derivative would be equal to 0, for example, or you can do a table of values to kind of get to that point. So I recommend kind of just doing a general sketch, and if you want a bit more of an accurate value, you can use a table of values to determine maybe what is the point at -0.5 and some of the other points around. But even if you don't have that, you still get a general shape and understanding of what the polynomial is. You understand how the function behaves at the x-intercepts, and you know the general shape and the end behavior. So all of that is really good information for you, and now you can quickly plot these polynomials, sketch them out just using the few steps that I showed you today. So if you enjoy this video, please give it a like and drop any questions that you have in the comment section, and please subscribe for more of these videos. I'll definitely have more coming your way. And with that, take care and have a nice day.